Let's make a party. Hello everybody, I think we'll have 14. Oh. Okay, we'll have 13. Depends if Kostas turns up as well, that would be 14. Okay, so my numbers did not elude me. Let me get rid of my rubbish. As we're here for the pre-season race for straight line racing on this broken game. I'm just gonna make sure that everyone knows we're live. So I've changed all my things around so that on my phone, so it's gonna take a bit. YouTube. Link. What am I doing? Just waiting for Bera, I think, who's going to be home in a second. The porridge has gone stale. Hi Savis. How are you doing? As share, just copy and paste it. Twitter. Obviously, as you probably know, T1 is a bit later on the main event as it is, and we'll see how good this game is. Supposedly, but it's not good. It's shocking. But we'll have to trudge on and hope for the best. Hopefully we can have a good race today. I'm pretty sure T1 will be pretty decent. But for now, we'll deal with this as we're waiting for. I still think we're waiting for Bera. It's apparently in. Oh, he's in his house, not in the PlayStation, I think. So I've done that. Website, Wix. Just need to make a few changes, and then we'll be ready. Let me get the stream up on my computer so I don't miss any of your comments. Lando Norris, Lando Norris, Lando Norris, Lando Norris, Lando Norris. Oh, Lando. Oh, okay, I get you. McLaren. I'm so confused. Go away, Wix. SLR Racing. T2. Is he? He's not in on my screen. Oh yeah. SRT2 change the video link to this. I don't want to download my stream. Paste. Publish. And I think we're going to get going as just in time for me to sort the website crap out. Acceleration. Yep, we're live on the website as well, so if anyone wants to check that out on the website, you're more than welcome to do so. As we're about to get underway for Tier 2 for the pre-season race. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, this game has got its flaws. And I'm hoping for quite an exciting race. Obviously, this game is pretty broken, and yeah, we'll just have to deal with it best we can. We've got 13 drivers here today. We've got a few on holiday at the minute, and a couple more just busy elsewhere. But I've been assured the numbers will be better from now on. Obviously, the first couple of weeks are usually the worst, and then it picks up throughout the season. Yeah, but we've got a nice amount, and hopefully we can get a good race out of it. Obviously, we've got two champions in this lobby. Obviously, so last year we had John Hocking and Kostas. Obviously, Kostas won T1 and John won T2 in season 2. And this year we have Kostas again, who's now a 2-time SLR champion, T1 and T2. Who's back in T2 again. And we also have Mugen, who won T3. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do. On the grid, obviously, got 13. The numbers are slightly better than last year, which is good, and I think the driver quality is overall better. But unfortunately, not everyone is here today, including a return for Alan, after a year out. He kind of got put in the middle of nowhere last year and ended up in the wilderness, and yeah, now he's made a return, and he's a pretty quick driver in his day. So we've got Jack on track, or Dave, who will be doing a bit of commentary later with Owen on the T1 race, and I'll wish him all the best with that. I'll be watching, putting on the pressure, and let's hope he can put on a bit of a show today in his Pink Panther. We've got a few people on track. People are taking the time, obviously 18-minute qualifying this time around. No, I meant last season, not last year's game. But to be fair, we have got Enrico and we've got Ducci in T2 this year, and they are fairly quick drivers themselves. We haven't got 2 people at the front and then nobody else anywhere else. You know what I mean? We haven't just got you and Fraggle at the front. We've got Ducci and Enrico, and then we've got George, and then we've got Mocking Weeks, Alan. You know, these were people that were actually in T2 that year, so T1 that year, should I say. So I would say that overall it's probably quicker. Maybe not at the back. But yeah, we've got Jack, who's starting his lap. As we'll go on board with him, we'll get some telemetry up. As we're going into turn 1, you brake around the 100-meter board. It looks like he's just outbroken himself. You carry the speed, and then on exit, got to be very careful because you can squirm away from you, as Jack shows there. Not the best turn 1 and 2. But he looks to be okay. 3rd gear for the turn in, 4th on exit. He does that. Looks a bit hesitant. I don't know if that's a bit lag. There's a yellow flag. I think that's people backing up on the last corner, I'm presuming, as he goes round. It's a very difficult corner. It's right-handed because it's sloping downhill. It goes away from you, so you've got to be careful. And this one's even more difficult because you can really outbrake yourself. But Jack could get quite, if he run quite close to the curb, then you'll get a better exit. But he was just a little bit off that time round. In between the 50 and 100 metre board, as you can see, Jack's really pushing right now, and he'll be hoping to get into the 27s at least on his first lap. What assists are permitted? Any is the answer to that, because we've got a mix of none and some. But it's more. There's not you. Not a lot of them are using all assists, so let's put it that way. But I'm hoping we can just take them down as the season goes on. But Jack comes across the line and he does a 28.1. He'll be fairly disappointed with that. As Mugen goes out and does a 27.9. as George Porridge is out there in the hairpin. We'll keep an eye on him as Hello Elmo goes pole position, as we've got already a glitch with the counter there, it revving out, and that is really annoying, but we'll have to just get used to it. As Mocking Weeks is coming around the final two corners now, so we'll go on board with him. Obviously he's a T1 race winner, Mocking Weeks, Australia Season 2. I'll know because I came second to him on that day. As he comes across the line and it's 21, he'll be fairly disappointed with that Mocking Weeks, he knows. As oh, Tatey is off the track, but George Porridge is going to come across the line now, and he's going to do a 29.9 and 27.9, but it was invalidated, so he'll be going again, I think, judging by his ERS. Berra's on a lap, Akil's coming to another lap, so we'll go on board with Akil in the Ferrari this time around. Akil across the line, and it's a 0.2 for Akil, and that'll put him dead last. Wait, what's the times doing? Why is Alfie Jensen on the 20? Oh, okay. I was getting confused there. Alfie Jensen goes top with 26.9. I was like really confused, like I thought I was seeing 24s or something. No, 26.9 is about right. So Alfie Jensen with a really nice lap actually, putting himself on pole position. As Elno comes into the pits, I think he's out fuel possibly. Probably not actually. Demo Man 20. There's quite a big gap between him, Alfie Jensen should I say, and the rest. But there's a yellow flag somewhere or other. George is 2/10 off the fastest at the minute, so he's going to be looking to get himself back into T2. Is Demo Man? We can't tell. I'm presuming he retired in the pits. I'm not sure if he binned it. But oh, George out of the last corner, he's gone into the gravel, and yeah, he's in the pits now, and he'll be fairly lucky at that one. We've got Skin Up with that glitch. I think everyone's got that glitch. Berra's got it for sure. Skin Up has Tatey obviously span on his lap to do a 45. But to have Demo Man out already, I don't know if he just retired because he didn't think he could do any more, or what, because that's not a brilliant lap, to be honest. Titanas is looking a bit shaky. I shouldn't really be on board with him, to be honest. As Skin Up goes to P3 with a 27.8, but Alfie Jensen is showing them all how it's done. I mean, that 26.9 is not a bad lap. I think my time trial was like a 0.8 or something like that. I know I've only done a very few laps and I haven't been like sweating it, but it's not a bad lap, let's put it that way. And you'd be fairly happy with that, as we've got another incident in sector 1 this time. Can't really see what it is. Is it Skin Up? Was it Berra? Berra goes to P2. Obviously he was in T3 last year for the most part, and then got promoted to Tier 2, chasing down Muggun he was at the time, but he's now in P2 with a 0.5. So that midfield packet's quite close, but I reckon there's some more time in this. We're a bit of track evolution. But that just shows how good that lap was from Alfie Jensen. It'd be interesting to see what T1 compares to that later. I'm presuming T1 will be around a low 26 for pole position. But yeah, it'd be really interesting, as we've got Asif on track. He's on a lap at the minute, I think. But he's not going particularly quick. Hello Carlo, how are you, my friend? As we're coming into the second half qualifying pretty much, and obviously with the longer qualifying sections you can take more time to get out there. You can also get like 3 runs in on most tracks. Obviously that Spa you won't be able to, but we'll do a bit of push about working it out. Well, yeah, I presume he'd return at some point. Rotards, I think. Skin Up's coming into the pits. Elno has come out. Hell no. I keep calling him Elmo. Actually, we'll stick with Elmo, yeah. But the one person who'll be really disappointed so far is George, who's yet to set a lap time, lost it in the last corner. We'll go on board with him. I know the rev thing is really annoying, but we'll have to deal with it at the minute as he comes across the line to start his lap with DRS open, and we'll see what he can do. Going into turn 1, there's a Ferrari in the left, that'll be a Keel. And that looks to have distracted him, but he carries the speed and quite nicely. He doesn't find the apex, but doesn't lose it on the exit either. I know George is running 50-50 on the differential, which means his car's really, really slidey, but he quite liked that. He's getting nowhere near. This is the usual line for George. We'll see what his first sector's like as he comes round. It's a 28.0, and from what I know, that's not bad. I'm not 100% certain on that either, as we're coming through the middle sector now, as he misses the apex again slightly, and into this corner, really difficult, and I know he doesn't like it. He goes into first gear that time to get the turn in. I reckon he is short shifting on purpose though, but yeah, 6/10 to Berra and Alfie Jensen. We didn't really see that one coming. Alfie, I know he's been practicing quite a lot. I don't know if that's an invalidated lap time for George there, because on the edge in his Sauber, 28.0 middle sector as well. Well, it's exactly the same pretty much, unless I'm seeing things. As we're coming around the last couple of corners now, we'll find out how good this lap really is from George. As he comes across the line now, it doesn't look particularly great, but it's a 28.0, and that puts him just behind Demo Man by 200ths. One person who hasn't got that glitch, the Haas driver Mocking Weeks. As I said earlier, his teammate's not here, but obviously he's a race winner in Tier 1 in Season 2. It shows how much Tier 1 has actually improved over the last couple of seasons. That Mocking Weeks went from race winner to nothing, but obviously the rest of that season he didn't get a single. I think he got 12-13 points over the last half of that the rest of that season, and he got 25 in the first race. So it shows the consistency wasn't there for him, and last season was pretty terrible, and by his own standards he'd admit that. But he's going to come across the line now. It looks going to be a better lap. It's a 27.4, and that puts him in P2, half a second behind, well, around 4/10 behind, 4.5 tenths behind Alfie Jensen. There's someone in half a second of him, but Alfie Jensen, what a lap that is. I mean, he'd be really impressed with that. We've got Mugan out on a lap as well, and Elno, who's coming around the final corner in fact, so we'll keep on board with him, and then the Renault, as he's going to come into the pit lane. But we've got Mugan in P6 at the moment. Will he be able to improve on that 27.9 and push himself up the grid? He gets a 27.8, so he goes up to P5, just ahead of Skin Up, and George has actually improved to 27.9 as well in that lap. He's just done. He'll be coming into the pits and going for one last go, I'm presuming, so they can get 3 runs in here, which is interesting. I didn't know that. Akil is struggling right now, and Titan. It's the usual people that I expect to struggle at the back. I'm expecting Tatey to put a better lap in, but we'll have to wait and see. So we've got 12 viewers, pretty insane, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, but Mocking Mix will be fairly happy with that, but Alfie Jensen with a great lap to put himself on pole, we've got to say that. As we've got Berra starting the lap. Is there anyone coming to end of a lap? Skin Up, I think is just... No, he hasn't. I don't think he's starting a lap. Akil is coming through the middle sector, so we can stick on board with Akil and see what he can do. We're coming through this middle sector, going to 4th gear, not attacking it as much as you like, but he does run wide, so maybe there's something to salvage from this. So he's coming through the final few corners now, and we'll see what Akil can do. Going into the last corner, not using all the track, which should be a mistake, but uses it all on the exit, and I'm surprised if this lap will count. But it comes across the line now, and it improves by a 10th, and it does count. Maybe it was just a bit of lag. So we'll go back on board with Skin Up, who I'm expecting fairly big things from him. He did okay in the time trials. I think he got P4 as he loses the car and he's in the wall, lost half the front wing. Luckily for him, he can come back into the pits and start again, but heartbreak there for Skin Up. Just losing the car. I know how easy that is, especially in time trial when the car gets loose, it just goes on you. The back end just doesn't want to stick, and that's what happened there. As Berra improves again to a 0.2. He's getting closer to Alfie Jensen, but Alfie will be fairly comfortable still. What he's doing, track evolution, and Alfie, as if has got a bug where the DRS is actually staying open the whole lap, which is a bit of a problem going around a few corners, I'm not gonna lie. I'll ask him if he can close it. Is there anybody going around on laps? I think everyone's into the pit, so we've got Jack here going to Narnia. I don't know if he's on an out lap light. Looks like he's doing some weird things. Got Titanus finishing the lap. He's on a 28.4 at the minute. And Titanus looks a bit more competitive this time around, but decides to pull into the pits. Obviously pit assists aren't allowed, as we discussed that last season. I'll figure out what Asif is talking about. But that's a bit weird. If your DRS is staying open the whole lap, there's not a lot really you can do except for put a very bad lap in. I mean, you might be able to beat Tatey what he's done, but if your DRS is staying open the whole lap, then you're in a bit of trouble, really. But we're on to our last runs, really, as George is on his out lap, and so is Mucky Meeks. And I expect Chris to really put the hammer down now and show what he's about. We know he's got it in his tank, he just needs to really show it, as he's going into turn 1 now, and we'll stay on board with him. Into turn 1, goes to centre of the track, gets it turned in nice, on exit. It looks like he's sliding about a lot, but we're not 100% because you can tell it's a little bit laggy with his car. So maybe it's not true, but that was really nice when he got it rear turned in third gear, a lot better than what George did earlier, as we saw. And now going through the middle sector, we go left, right, 5th gear, rev out. Obviously we don't know that because our rev count is going like mad. His revs were working earlier and now they don't want to, so I don't know why that happens. As it goes into the middle sector, locks up a lot. Again, we can't tell if that is actual lock up or game, but yeah, it looks like Berry's not coming out, and Alfie Jensen's going to call it a day as well. So it's all on Mucky Meeks now. Can he be the person to dislodge these two from pole position? As Jack has retired from session. I don't know why I'm trying to look because he can't. But he's called it a day, and there's his car pulling from side, so he's just given up, I'm presuming, on his 28.1 as Mucky Meeks is coming to the final sector now, and round the second to last corner. And he's going to come across the line, and we'll see what this lap is as he comes across the line, and it's an improvement, and he goes to P2. He's only half a tenth off pole position, well, just under a tenth. Will he go again, or will he call it a day on that one? But that's a brilliant lap from Mucky Meeks. He'd be super happy to be in that position because he hasn't been in a contention to win position for a long time. And I think he's going for another lap, is Mucky Meeks, and credit to him. As George Porridge improves 27.3 and nearly dislodges Berra as well. Berra made the mistake of not going out last, and Elmo looks like he's going to come into bits and call it on that one. And I hope he retires, but George, I think, got across the line just in time, so he's timed it just about right to go it again. And we'll see what he can do. Mucky Meeks is going through the middle sector, and Titanas is coming through the middle sector as well. There's nobody really at the end of their laps, so we'll stick with Mucky Meeks and we'll see what he can achieve in his Haas. But so far he's in P2, And Alfie Jensen will be sweating bucket loads right now, because I think... Can Mucky Mix improve? I don't know if he is improving or not. As Asif saying he gets no luck, and it's true really on that occasion. And as you can see by his lap, he's not going to improve. I think he's just going to retire in the pits, like I said earlier, which is fair enough. Someone actually listened to me, so he's going to stick with his P2. And George is improving by... Has he run out of fuel? He was up by a tenth. I think George has run out of fuel. He was up by a tenth. Oh, Georgie, baby. Oh, he could have had P2 there, George, but unfortunately, he ran out of fuel. Oh, that's heartbreaking from him. So P4 for George in the end. I think he'll be fairly happy with it overall, but I know he'll be devastated they didn't get into the late 26ers with that amount of practice he put in. But as you can see, it's Alfie Jensen was surprised pole position. We did not expect this from him whatsoever. Mocking in second, Barrett in third, George in fourth, Hello Elmo in sixth, Mugen in sixth, Skin Up seventh, Demo Man in eighth, crashing out early on, Jack or Dave in ninth, Titanos 10th, Akil, Tate, and then Asif unfortunately had that DRS open all the time failure thing that yeah, seems to happen to a few drivers in real life as well, so maybe it is realistic after all. But we're going to get ready for the race now, and I'm sure it'll be an exciting Grand Prix in one or another terms anyway. Either we'll have an exciting race or we'll have lots and lots of bugs and it'll be exciting in that way, so we'll just have to see, and hope for not for a big crash into turn 1 or 2 on the first lap. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. I mean, Alfie Jensen on pole, that's an unbelievable thing, you know. I didn't expect to see that. So happy for him, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously the fastest guys aren't really here. I mean, Dutchy and Enrico and Co. But we're going for the formation lap now, and hopefully they behave themselves as we can run down the grid again. So obviously Alfie Jensen tier 2 last year, didn't show a lot to be honest, but he was really eager to improve, I know that much, and he's a young driver, and I'm sure he's got a lot of potential in him. It just needs to be patient and it'll come to him. Second Mucky Makes T1 winner, he's got a few podiums as well in his time, and yeah, he'll be hoping to add another one to his list. Obviously this is only pre-season race, so it won't count as like a league podium, but he'll be hoping this will be a great result for him to give him a bit of a confidence boost for the season. Berra, I think he won no, he didn't win tier 2. He came in late and then dominated tier 2 and then dropped back to tier 3 due to assists, and then now he's back into tier 2 obviously because we got rid of tier 3 to up the numbers a bit and up the quality. George Porridge is in 4th. George has raced in tier 1, got points. Is there a Williams left in tier 1? In tier 2? But you're not racing, Rotad, I won't let you race. Like literally we have a full grid, but some of them aren't here today. But yeah, George, we'll be hoping for some better results this time round. As we're getting around the track quite quickly, we've got Elno, who's fairly new to the league, Mugen, champion of tier 3, Skin Up was quite new last season, Demo Man has raced in tier 2 and 3 and then 2 again. Jack is now a commentator and they'll be helping no one out later. Titanos is fairly slow, but he might be able to do something, I suppose, if he... I hope he can show something. And Akil is same bracket. He's racing tier 1 but didn't show anything particularly special. Tate was a tier 3 driver last year. Just needs to find some pace, and same Asif. He showed some decent pace, he got a podium. But all eyes will be on Alfie Jensen because he's on pole position and this is not what we expected. and as of now we get a half decent camera angle as we're going to go to 5 red lights for the pre-season race at Bahrain, and it's lights out and away we go. It looks like Alfie Jensen has got a decent getaway as one of the salvers at the back. I think it was Demo Man who's going to the back, and it looks like Berra is onto the attack as well as Mocking Weeks, and Berra onto the grass, and he's got a 3-second penalty for it. There's contact, and I think that's Mocking Weeks who's gone round. Doesn't look like he's got any front wing damage on his Haas, but out in front is Alfie Jensen who gets a nice getaway. I don't know if he got tagged by Mocking Weeks and he went round, I'm not sure, but Berra and George Porridge are going at it with Skin Up and Muggen just behind them, and Akil and Titanas in their own little battle, and then we've got Mocking Weeks who not Mocking Weeks, Demo Man should I say, is one of the McLaren's there. That is, I don't know what to say about that. I think it was Jack who just came back on track without looking at Tatey there, and got caught out the back, but we're going to go back to the front again, and I think Berra and this field starts to spread out a bit, sorry, as Elmo was actually in P2, so good start from Elmo, who didn't look particularly strong in qualifying, but he's managed to get away okay, and it's into P2 and P3 for Berra as well. He'll be fairly happy, but Alfie Jensen's managed to retain his lead. The person who will be absolutely distraught is Mocking Weeks. He doesn't have any front wing damage as other 2 or 3 people tripped over each other, but fairly clean start as Alfie Jensen sets the fastest lap of the race, obviously first lap, as we've got Demo Man on the attack on Titanas, and Akil defending to the inside, the Indian driver, and Titanas round the outside goes deep, and that's a nice move by Titanas actually. He moves his way into 7th place. I was fairly surprised he made that stick. He went really deep. And now Demo Man on Keel now, as Demo Man tries it down the inside of this corner. This could end in tears as they both leave each other room. Very nice from the 2 drivers. I was thinking about the desync there, but they both get away with it, and it's Titanas in 7th who's going slower than my grandma on stilts. Demo Man tries it down the inside, and that's a bit of a mess, and Titanas is really lucky in that, and he's lost half a front wing from somewhere, but Mocking Weeks has got that position as Titanas tries around the outside for some reason or other. Thought that was a good idea, but the person who gained the most out of that was probably Demo Man and Mocking Weeks. But if we go closer to the front, I suppose it started to spread out as Alfie Jensen has binned it, and the right-hander on the right-hand side there, and that is a disaster for Alfie Jensen. He got pole position, he was in the lead, and he's binned it out. Oh dear, Alfie Jensen, he'll be fuming as Mocking Weeks is trying to make a move on Demo Man. Oh no, Demo Man's trying to make a move on Akil, and it looks like he's made that move as Elmo obviously sets the fastest lap of a race now, and he's in the lead, getting chased down by Berra, but here comes Akil, and Demo Man takes the inside, but he doesn't see him, and Akil forces his way down the inside, and Mocking Weeks round the outside of all of them, and Mocking Weeks using knowledge of Demo Man being pushed by Akil, who's slipped back behind Titanas as well. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that as well, AJ, pretty much. I saw you in the wall anyway. I didn't actually see the incident itself, but they're the sort of mistakes you've got to be cutting out of your game, really. You got pole with a brilliant lap, I'm not going to lie, but yeah, you blew it on this occasion. Obviously, luckily there's no points involved, but Demo Man gets past Mocking Weeks for 6th. Titanas is just behind. I don't know if Mocking Weeks has got any tyre damage or something like this. Obviously, tyre heating could be a very problem. But it looks like Elmo and Berra are set to do battle. The front, George doesn't look like he's got front wing damage. Just doesn't seem to have the pace right now. His Skin Up's behind him. With Muggen, Demo Man, Mocking Weeks, Asif, Titanas, and Titanas is looking at Asif, and Asif has just got past Titanas actually with front wing damage. which is interesting enough, and then Akil at the back of this train with Jack as well there, as Titanos goes to Narnia, and these two are set to do battle once again, and it looks like Akil's going to get the move done on Titanos as Jack or Dave comes into the pits, and Titanos has to give way as Titanos tries to force his way around the outside again. He's really confident around this corner, seeing this got out in tears, and just about forces his way through, and that made me crap myself, because if the side pod glitch was a thing, Akil would have been, well, one of them would have been dead either way, but Mocking Weeks would be the one who will be slightly peed, because he could have done a lot more as he spins into the infield, and yeah, that would be his tyres well and truly done, and I think he'll have to make a pit stop to get that changed now with Skin Up and George. I think George has run wide and Skin Up's got the position, so that's interesting enough, and that'll put Mugan on the back of George as well. So as you see, George really struggling to find any sort of grip. Obviously when you overheat your tyres, they're practically gone straight away, and now George is all over the shop. Yeah, I do remember that. As I think George will have to pit at the end of this lap. His tyres are shot, and his teammate's going to be coming at him soon. As we've got a yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. I think it's because of Elmo coming into the pits for an early stop. I think that's a smart move, and I think George will come in as well, because his tyres are knackered, and try and get the undercut as he locks up, and no 5 second stop and go for him. But Berra now, if he's got some tyre life in him, he needs to get it out now and try and jump Elmo in the pits, as Skin Up now moves up into second, Mugan into third, Demo Man fourth, Asif after a quite bad start is now in fifth, and Keel in sixth, and Elno comes out in seventh after a pretty decent stop, and George is out in eighth, and Mocking Weeks is going to come out plumb last. So I'm presuming it was on the edge of the tyre wear anyway from Mocking Weeks, and he just lost it in the infield, which is fairly unfortunate, especially when your tyres go off. Yeah, you don't even know, they just go. And yeah, it's really unfortunate then when it happens. And yeah. What I'm thinking is, if you've got to buy force. Oh, Berra's binned it! What's happened to Berra? Is it through the left or right? Has he been into the pit lane or something? We don't know. Where's Berra gone? But he's out of this race. What? Has he been into pit lane? We'll find out in a minute. We're on board with Akil, who's not pitting himself, so I don't know. Oh, we'll find out in a second, Rotards, but with my suspicion, that's why I tried finding out there first, but I couldn't see anything. But Akil is leading this race. And yeah, if that's true, we've had two leaders bin it on the same curb, which is unfortunate, because that corner was so easy on last game, and now it's not as easy, and we'll have to learn from our mistakes, I think. But that promotes George into third, and he's already pit, but he's 7 seconds off Elmo, who's commanding this race now. And he's 9 seconds in the lead over George, and we've got Tatey in behind, obviously hasn't pit, and then Skin Up is behind him, obviously, who has pit, same with Mugan. So I want to know what happened to Skin Up, because George was behind Skin Up going into the pit lane, and now Skin Up was ahead of George, and now George is ahead of Skin Up, as I think Skin Up's going to have to make the move on Tatey, and Tatey goes straight back past him. Obviously Skin Up tried a little bit of a dive bomb, but no, as I've got a bit of an issue myself, and Skin Up is still on the back, as Mugan has got a grandstand view of this. But if you think this race is over, it's well and truly not. I'm expecting George. Oh, Muggin! That was late on the brakes. He just about got that stopped. Jesus, Muggin. I was not expecting that. But Skin Up gets past Tatey, and it looks like Muggin's going to try the dive bomb, as well as it goes down the inside, which will now turn to the outside, and he's not quite going to get it done. But on exit, oh, that is unfortunate. Oh dear, that is clumsy. And Tatey's going round and round and round. He just on the exit, it happens, I've seen that happen so many times on exit, where a car just comes across and then your front wing just touches that corner and it spins you around. So unfortunate there for Tatey, but it's just what it is. I won't blame anyone for that, to be honest. It was really quite tight. Obviously Muggin was impatient to get past him, but obviously Tatey didn't want to lose ground at the same time. But it'll help Skin Up and George, I suppose, as Akil is still yet to pit. Obviously it's actually on the soft tyre, so I wonder if pit stops will play a big part. As Elmo's actually caught him, so he'll get DRS. I don't know if Akil will pit yet. He hasn't. Maybe Akil's trying a one-stop race, maybe soft and then mediums, whereas these lot have to do two-stop. Yeah, in real life that would never happen. I mean, you might get a puncture, but might clip your tyres and just puncture him. But Elmo makes swift work of Akil, and it looks like Elmo is running away with it, to be honest. As Tatey gets a 5-second stop and go to hinder his race. As Mocky Meeks is looking at Jack. Yeah, it was a bit of an accident, in my opinion. Obviously, Muggin had the run and he tried just sending it down the inside, and Tatey wouldn't have seen that. The only way you'd have seen it if you'd either look back, even if you'd look back, you wouldn't really see it, and the arrow will never turn to red in that position. As Jack's going to Narnia, and he will get the run on Mocky Meeks, to be fair. And he goes around the outside. Jack is not afraid, and they've got a little bit of a ding dong here, but I think Mocky Meeks will get the position on exit. But Jack's also got to DRS, as I'm messing about again. There we go. And I think Mocky Meeks will have this now, fairly certain. I wonder if Akil will be brave enough to try the one stop. And try and thwart Georgia. Thwarter? Don't know if that's a word. This is better than real life, and I sort of debate, but well, obviously if you're on pole then it's going to be better than a real life one, don't get me wrong, but yeah. You would say that, wouldn't you? But Titanus has gone from hero to zero, really. You see there's lifting off through there as well. There's Jack is still with Mocky Meeks, so maybe Mocky Meeks isn't quite as quick as we first thought. Because Jack is going to send this, surely. No, he isn't. He's going to play a safe route. But Mocky Meeks is going to Narnia. So we've got a bit of a ding dong. The T1 will be mayhem, because everyone's so quick. It'd be unreal. And as we have confirmation of what happened to Berra there. Does he message me? He went into the corner in the wrong gear and then hit the curb, and it killed him. So basically, driver error. To be fair to that, if he obviously went in with the wrong gear, that's his own fault, really. But Asif's doing okay, to be fair, and Demo Man all on his own, but he stayed out of trouble as Demo Man. He had a few early scaves, but he hasn't been really in too much trouble. Same with Mugger, and obviously he had his incident with Tatey as he runs deep into turn 1. Skin Up, he's had a nice race, but the field is starting to spread out a bit. I think our closest battle is Jack and Mocking Weeks on track. Obviously it's spread out a bit due to a lot of due to the what's it due to? Tell me, lads, what's it due to? Due to a few incidents. Berra and Alfie Jensen deciding not to race and bin it into the long right-hander, and yeah, the gap between George and Elmo is kind of stabilised now. It's 4.6, it's 9.6 seconds, 9.7, 9.8. It's that up and down the gap. But George doesn't like to catch Elmo at the minute. Yeah, I can't wait for T1 later, that'll be so exciting. And well, yeah, I could tell you who's going to have got pole, and I could tell you who's going to win it as well. Thorium. And yeah, it's starting to spread out just a little bit. But I'm expecting some late battles. Obviously, we've got these second stops yet to come. We've still got 11 in the race, so fair play to everybody. To not have a massive crash at the start and die. And the game looks to have behaved itself so far anyway, for the most part, which is a good thing. But we're in a bit of a lull as it is. There's Muggen and Skin Up look to be getting a bit closer, but Skin Up loses it through that corner. Muggen gets a right go through there, and that's closed the gap down by 8/10 through that one corner. Interesting. This is getting a bit interesting for battle for P4, as Muggen, obviously he's a Norwegian driver, and Skin Up I think is English, or British as I say. I'm not sure if it's actually English or whatever, and that's a 3-second penalty. Well done, Muggen, you've just earned the worst 3-second penalty on camera ever. But yeah, we've had no desync issues. And yeah, and obviously we'll have Dave and Owen in the commentary box, so that should make it all more exciting. Obviously Dave's debut, so good luck to him as well. And this is pretty much my last appearance in a commentary box as well, so it's sort of sad, but I'll get over it. So I'll be off to work forever. Great, look forward to it. But oh, Muggen! Look at him throwing the car around there. It looked a bit too close for comfort. As George is starting to really catch Akil. I think Akil's tyres are really going off. And I reckon Akil is going for the one stop, like I thought at the start. It should be interesting. Also interesting if Mockimeats can catch Mockimeats. I don't know if the frame rate's going to die now. Berra's left. It looks like we've got away with it. So why aren't I racing for myself? Because there's no point in racing in one race and then deciding I can't. And someone needed to commentate on this race, so it made sense. Otherwise you won't be watching what you're watching now. And plus I wouldn't win anyway. I have no chance of getting pole. We're at 26.9. And Elmo looks in a league of his own at the minute. I mean, it might be half a chance, but I'm not as quick as I was. Well, I'm not saying that. I think I'm quicker than I was actually, but I haven't practiced. Akil's taking a Sunday stroll at the minute, it seems. Because George is running him down. And Muggen and Skin Up are getting closer together, and I think Skin Up might be closing in George as well. Because you see that, look, there's 2 cars in the distance, and then you got Skin Up and Muggen. We have a battle on our hands, it seems. So hopefully these lot can come together and have a bit of a ding dong to liven this race up. Where's Skin Up going? Has he lost his car? I think he has. As Demo Man goes past as well, so Demo Man's not far behind us either. So Demo Man's having a pretty decent race. As Skin Up lost the car there, and Demo Man was quite lucky he didn't get taken with him. But it's fairly interesting as Akil makes his pit stop. So let's make an announcement for that as he comes into the pit lane. And he puts on a set of mediums. He's doing the 1-stop. So while everyone else has to pit again, he can go to the end. It's interesting to see what the ERS thing is like. Obviously Elmo's got quite a lot, 51%. Similar with George. Muggen's not got a lot left, he's got 14%. So he's not got a lot. He's in standard at the minute. Whereas same with Elmo and George, I think they're saving theirs for the later on the race, which will help George get away. And I think that's a smart plan at the minute because he's in the middle of nowhere. And I think he's kind of hoping that Elmo's using his quite a lot. But it doesn't seem that way. But Demo Man's got quite a bit left as well. Same with Skin Up and Asif, Mokimix, Jack or Dave, he's struggling quite a lot. And Akil's got enough for a lifetime. And Tate's got quite a lot as well. So it's Titanis, but Titanis and Tate are really in the middle of nowhere, and then there's everybody else. But this little battle here is starting to heat up. Obviously these 3, it was 4 with Akil, but he's kind of dropped out of it until these lot pit. Obviously we've got the 2 Saubers, Muggen and Skin Up. So yeah, it's been fairly interesting. We've had some half decent battles, and hopefully throughout the season we can have more. Obviously we've got Enrico, Duchy, Kostas, the reigning champion of this league, tier 2 anyway, and we also have some more drivers I can't name at the minute because I haven't got it on my screen, I can't remember. Let me have a look. Yeah, we've got Paki G, I better not say Paki G, that's horrible. I also got Edgar, Alan, and Matteo, obviously from last year as well. Play Duchy and Enrico, they should be fairly good. Kostas and Mr. Aldo as well. So we've got quite a few drivers yet to come back. Obviously Asif is also a reserve driver, so you'll see him every so often when people can't make. So that'll be fairly interesting. As Demo Man is really starting to bear down on Muggen. I think Demo Man might be the 2nd fastest man on the track at the minute. I mean, I think he's fast. Well, Muggen hasn't really closed in on George. It's kind of the same as there's a yellow flag, and it's Asif who's lost it into that deadly right-hander, and I think he's lost all of his front wing. He'll have to make a pit stop and probably go the mediums to the end. In fact, he's already on some mediums. Hello, Alfie Johnson, and we'll see if he'll come into the pits. As we've got a little bit of a battle between Demo Man and Muggen unfolding. I think he's pitted yes, and this is gonna be fairly explosive, I reckon. Obviously, Demo Man was craving a nice battle last season, didn't really get one, and Tate decided to retire from the session. As I'm trying to. Damn it. As he didn't really get one last season, should I say. And now he's trying to make light work of Muggen, who's pushing harder than ever. Obviously, he hasn't got a lot of ERS left, so maybe this will be fairly easy to see. He's saving ERS behind Mug and his demo man. He's been smart, and George could be in trouble after all this as well. Because demo man's only in 1, he's in low, and he's catching Muggin. So this will be fairly interesting to see what he does. I mean, they're both catching George as well. So I think George needs to pit personally and try and get away. He has to try and get a gap. And these two don't do anything rash, Demo Man. And he does that. And George does exactly that. He comes into the pits. Demo Man now will stick into Rich and go for it. And try and jump both of these. Obviously, Demo Man knows he can't pit anyway because George is in the pits. And Elmo's also in the pits. So Demo Man takes the lead of this race. And he'll be pushing now. He'll be sticking into each, as you see, he's in 5, he's in hot lap mode. And he really wants to get ahead of Muggin at least. And he'll be pitting in on his lap, I'm pretty sure. As Mocky Mix comes into the pits as well as Jack, who carries on, and he'll come out just behind George, but ahead of Muggin. So maybe he can be the cork in the bottle, as it is for George. That was crucial for George. If he didn't get out ahead of Jack, then he could have been in a little bit of trouble with his teammate, who is now coming around the right-hander. And yeah, this is spicing this race up. Obviously, we expected Keel to be in that battle as well, but he's 4 seconds behind now. So it seems like his strategy isn't paying off as well as he'd like. I don't think he's had the pace overall to make it work. I mean, if we had someone like Fodbold in this lobby, then possibly. But there's a Keel, unfortunately, not Fodbold. There's Skin Up also, we could say, is in that little bit of a lull battle as well, who hasn't pit. And Demo Man now, after a really hot lap, he's running out of battery, and that is over cautious into the pit lane, and that will allow George to go past, I'm presuming. There's Jack has binned it in. Why there? Okay. Interesting. And George will go past, I think, because that over cautiousness into the pit lane, or a mixture of both. But Muggin is also going to go past, is he? So Demo Man hasn't done anything at all. He's made no effect on the position order, like I expected, and Skin Up's gone backwards as well, behind a Keel, which is a disaster for him. I'd say he was like up there and behind George. He was ahead of George at some point, and then made a few mistakes. But Muggin has got a lot of battery. He's been saving it, so he's got loads of battery back. I don't know if he saved it in the pit lane or something by going into 0, and but it looks like Muggin now has the high ground, as George is in the middle and he's pushing, trying to catch on. He's caught Elmo by a few seconds actually, as George. So maybe now is his time, as we've got a yellow flag in sector 2. We'll find out who that is. I think it's Asif, who's retired from the session now. They're dropping like flies, as there's Asif in the middle of the road, and Titanis had to avoid in the end. But they're dropping like flies, as now we've gone from 11 a few laps ago to now only 8 at the back in this race. But George Porridge is on a flyer. He's just set the fastest lap of the race. And I don't know how quick he was over Elmo though, as we'll have a look. He did a 20.6 and George did a 20.5, so he gained a 10th on that lap. But the people behind will be fairly unhappy with this sort of pace, because Muggin can't keep up, Demo Man can't keep up, and that will pretty much secure George in that second place. And yeah, we're coming the last 10 laps of this race. This race should be done around 8 o'clock, I think, judging from what I can see. 10 laps, 1 minute 30 a lap, 13 minutes. Oh, 10 minutes. Okay. Not as long as I thought. Trying to work out how long this race will last, because we've been going for an hour now, so we're not far away. Obviously 10 laps to go now, as Elmo has been calm, collected and controlled. As he's came across the line now, and he has done a 30.3, and that's the new fastest lap of the race, and I don't think George can live with that sort of pace. And as he comes across the line now, it very much seems like that. He's 8 tenths off his last lap, so as Muggin comes across the line, and can't keep up with that. But Demo Man, I really think Demo Man will get Muggin. I don't know why, I just believe that he will. Skin Up can't live with it, unfortunately, and he's got past Asif though. And I think Akil should I say, and I think Mokimix will do the same in a few laps' time. It's just a matter of time. There's a Demo Man. He's coming through the middle sector now, and he's starting to really reel in Muggin now. I don't know if Muggin is saving battery. They're around the same, so he's got a lot to defend with. He's got a lot of tools in the old kitty to use. But it looks like that Demo Man's using them wiser. Can he get that final step of the podium? I wonder. It's going to be close. It's going to be all close as Muggin runs a little bit wide. We are now got 8 laps to go, and my voice is starting to go as well. This is what happens when you don't have a co-commentator and you're just talking. But that's very deep from them, man. Trying to tell Muggin he's there. Muggin did it to a few other people on the race, so I think it's all fair. But Muggin, obviously T3 champion, knows what it's all about with his pressure. But Demo Man racing Tier 2 last year, so I suppose he'd know the same. And had some fairly decent races as well. Never actually troubled the podium, but he wasn't that bad. As will this be his opportunity? Not quite close enough, says Crofty. And coming into the very tight right hand, this is not where you want to be making a move, and Demo Man knows that. He knows there's a straight just here. Get a good exit and you're going to do well. Obviously Muggin with his little bit of traction control is good, but on the straight, as Muggin, even with DRS, Muggin turned the engine up. You can see he's on 4 now, whereas Demo kept in 2. I think he's playing it smart, waiting for his opportunity, letting him use his battery up, which is very, very smart of Demo, because I don't think Muggin will be smart enough to save battery on in the corners. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that out of disrespect, I'm saying that because I don't think I could do that, never mind anybody else. I'd use it here and there, especially on the pad. It's very difficult. I don't know if Muggin's on the pad or not, as Muggin goes very defensive, but Demo Man's not having any of it. But look at this closing speed. Muggin has got no ERS left in the tank, and Muggin tries to hold it around the inside, which will now become the outside, and you can get pinched, and this time Demo Man gets the position, and now he's up into P3, and he'll be super happy with that one, as Mokimix and Akil are also going at it, as Mokimix has now got that position and moves up to P6, so he'd be fairly disappointed, Mokimix, so he's not higher up. Obviously getting P2 on the grid, he should be doing better, shouldn't he? But he knows his own mistakes have cost him today. But the 2 Saubers on the podium, they'll be very happy with that. But Muggin, I know Muggin quite fairly well now, and I know he won't give this one up without pretty much a better fight than they've showed so far. But will he have the pace? That's the thing. Obviously you don't become a T3 champion for nothing, do you? as we are heading into the last few laps of this race, as we're going on to lap 24. No, 23 should I say, and Titanos has got a 3-second penalty for cutting a corner, being 42 seconds down on Akil, who's only 1.8 off Mocking Weeks, but obviously he's on older tyres and he's on the softs as Mocking Weeks. As Demo Man and Muggin, Demo Man's made a mistake. Quinta, I don't quite know what he did. Presuming he lost it on exit, but Muggin's back past. I told you I won't give this one up without a fight. He must think Christmas gone early, but he needs to save his ERS. Look at it, it's depleted, but so is Demo Man's now. There's Muggin shaking Demo Man now. Has he got that position back? This podium is up for grabs, and we don't really know which way this one's going to swing with 6 laps to go. I see Demo Man will be smarter to save it, I think, than Muggin. Muggin saved his in the pit stops, and that's about it. As I see Muggin, if you look at that, 2-1, 2-1, and he's saving it on the straight. He's waiting for the big straight, because that's the real overtaking place for Demo Man. And coming through the middle sector now, he runs wide, and that will be a warning, I'm presuming. As we're coming to lap 24 now, as Elno has started it, and Muggin goes defensive. He knows he's not got a lot of battery left. Look how much battery he's got left. He'll be going like a McLaren Honda soon. But Demo Man doesn't even want to even try it, as he get very close. But that was a real good opportunity, because he was going slow as McLaren. He had one, he was in low energy recovery mode. I'd have just stuck in overtake, made the move, and got down the road. But look, he's in one and he's catching him. Will he give him a nudge? No, he will not, as they're keeping this very clean, these two. I'm fairly surprised they haven't made some sort of contact yet. But so far so good for Demo Man, at least. I mean, Muggin, look how much ERS he's got left. He's using 3. He's trying to get away, but as soon as you get onto that straight, George gets the 3-second. Oh, George! He's run so far wide, and you think he'll get away with it, though, because Muggin's that far behind. But look at this. This isn't even a contest. He'll get him before even the braking zone. And as Muggin tries to hold it down the outside, if he clips that curb, he's dead. He knows that. As they keep it very clean. Demo Man round the outside, and Muggin with a great defence. And fair play to the both of them for keeping that one clean, because that was fairly dangerous. As Demo Man is trying it down inside before the straight, which is very interesting. I'd have probably backed out and waited for the straight. Obviously, with knowing he wouldn't know that Muggin's got no ERS, but Demo Man's run out before the end of the straight as well. So Muggin will catch, and he will try it around the outside. We know he's going to go late on the brakes, and he's had a poor exit as Demo Man. He has to back out of it, and that's Muggin back past, and the victim of their own downfall, not saving the ARS. If one of them saves their ERS, they've got this position, as Muggin has to slip back behind Demo Man, and I think Demo Man may have the position now, finally, but he has to save his ERS, right? He'll just sail back past again, Will Muggin, as he goes to Narnia through that corner. There's a Sauber, and this is fairly scrappy, and Skin Up is close so much. He's went from like 6 or 7 seconds to 2.5. So Skin Up is really making some real gains. Maybe he'll be the last man opponent, because he's got the ARS. Demo Man's using his noggin now and starting to save it. And but I wouldn't bet against Skin Up in these last laps. I really wouldn't. If these two keep battling the way they are, Skin Up will get them. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But Skin Up's dropped back a little bit since then. He's over 3 seconds now, so maybe not. Oh my God! That was rude. That was rude. And he should just let Demo Man have that. As he goes round the outside, but doesn't make it stick. And it was all over the curbs, and I've got to say, Mugen, that was a dive bomb, to say the least. This isn't AI you're versing here, Mugen. He will not get out the way. Keep it clean. But he's got to save his ERS, and it doesn't look like he's going to do that. And I think Demo Man now, with a bit of luck, will get away. But Skin Up, after all that, gains a bit more. He's nearly under 2 seconds. I think he'll get Mugen because of his ERS saving. He'll gain so much on the straight. Mind you, these two are starting to gain a bit of their ERS back. So maybe not, but it's under 2 seconds. He's really struggling. Skin Up just keeps it together. Maybe not the podium. Definitely 4th place is there for the taking. Yeah, I mean, the Demon's getting away now. But this is how lethal this take can be. One mistake and you're in a bit of trouble. As Mugen gets all over the curbs there, and Mugen, look at this on the straight. He's got more mode. Well, he's got the same amount of mode, but look on the end of the straight. He's got no mode. Skin Up smarter. Demo Man's running out of mode as well, but Skin Up's got a bit. George has got a bit, and Elmo's got. He's been saving for loads and loads of laps, so he'll be fine. He's got this race well and truly won. But Mugen is in a bit of trouble here. As I'm losing my breath. Back into this commentary, I'm not gonna lie. But Skin Up are now under a second on Mugen, and you could see why Mugen is saving it now a little bit, but is it enough? Is his tyres giving way for all the battling? Skin Up just seems, I don't know, just seems in a better place. I mean, the battery, he's got a bit more battery than him. I mean, Demo Man is... George has made a massive mistake somewhere, because now Demo Man is only 1.5 seconds. Can Demo Man get second? Could he? As now Skin Up is trying to make that move on Mugen, who goes really defensive. Skin Up goes to the clean side of the track, round the outside, breaks a 100-metre board. Mugen's on the inside still. And will he get the position? Is Mugen has let him go on this occasion. He's run out of battery, so I'm expecting Skin Up to keep it, but he's going to try it around the outside, late braking, and tries to switch back, which never really going to work through there. But Skin Up retains the 4th place from Mugen. And Demo Man is really starting to get on George as well. So we're on for a grandstand finish. We're going to be going on to the last lap very shortly. And Demo Man is only 6 tenths behind George Porridge. And Mugen is only 4 tenths behind Skin Up. So what's going to happen on this last lap, we don't know. But we're putting on a right good show here. I mean, Elno has ran away with this well and truly. As Demo Man under DRS now. George will be heartbroken if he lost his 2nd place. As he goes down to the inside, I think George will try and hold it around the outside. He's got so much battery more than Demo Man. Why is he not using it? Look how much you've got, George. Just stick it in and give it everything. As he locks up. And he doesn't carry the speed. Has there been an incident somewhere? And it's a keel. And I don't know where he is. Oh, it's in the last corner. No one's near there, luckily. except for Titanos flying around like a lunatic. But there's been really only one winner, but Demo Man has driven a superb race, superb, to get himself back here. He dropped to the back and he's driven all the way through the field to get to second place. I mean, what a drive. And I've got to say, George, what have you done? Has your tyres gone off? Oh, don't do that, George, on the last lap. Oh, we nearly lost it. Threw the right-hander on the last lap, but we've got back to Elno. But what a win by him. Domination from him, obviously, with Barrett and Alfie Jensen binning it early on. There wasn't much of a battle for him, but an unexpected first winner is Hello Elmo, as Demo Man drove a superb race to get P2 there. George has let himself down for P3. Really, but it's still a podium, double podium for the Sauber team. Mugen will be slightly disappointed that he didn't manage his battery better for 5th. Mockimix will be bitterly disappointed with 6th, I know that, for getting 2nd in the grid. And Akil, where did you go, my friend? I don't know. And Titanos is in the middle of nowhere as well, but we can't stop speaking about this battle. I mean, Demo Man and Elno, really, what a drive from both of them. I mean, Demo Man, especially late on the last lap, managed to get George for a podium, for the second place, should I say. But George has held for the whole race. George bottled it, it's fair to say. And for me, it's very difficult to choose between Demo Man and Elno for a driver of the day, but for me, I think Demo Man might just pinch the driver of the day there. Who would commentate for 2-1? It will be Jack from here, and oh, George had no sound already, so that would explain something. But yeah, who would commentate 2-1? It will be Jack from in here, and Owen Wyatt on this YouTube channel, as my phone is dying, so I'll plug it in. I won't plug it in because it charges over there. But yeah, it's a great race. In the end, it started to light up, and I'm happy to be commentating it. Well, obviously, Elmo, class of the field. Demo Man were a great drive as well. And here we go. So you'd probably have to put in the driver of the day vote the top 4 between Elno, Demo Man, Porridge and Skin Up. I think they'll be the top 4 in the driver of the day thing. But yeah, I think Demo Man was probably just edged it. But yeah, it was a great, nice race, really nice race to commentate, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. And yeah, I hope the T1 race will be to everybody's liking, and I hope we'll be back next week for some Tier 2 action, if I can find a commentator for that. But until then, I'm Nene 47, and we're out of here. Goodbye.